Was Rick drunk when you met him?
Do I answer honestly?
What are we calling this? Is this a podcast?
Red Clash.
Welcome back to Red Talks Clash. Joining us this week is Termynater, official Supercell super creator. Use code Termy. He streams daily on Twitch and TikTok, and he's done that every day for the last year, longer. Amazing streak. I first started getting to know Termy this summer after we both got invites out to attend the World Finals in Finland that just happened last weekend. And man, Term, you were just so enthusiastic and positive and fun to be around out there that after we spent that week together, I knew I needed to have you out here on RTC to talk about it. So I think let's get to know you a little bit, and then we'll dive into the trip, talk about as much as we can about what we learned while out there in the World Finals, and go from there, man. So yeah, introduce yourself to the people. Who are you?
All right. Hey, everybody. I am Termynater, also known as Termy or Term. Okay, a little bit about me. I would say, the main thing, I would say I'm pretty outgoing. I would consider myself like a kind of a mix of extrovert, introvert, and that kind of reflects in my streams. I like meeting people, but I like to remain, kind of low key as well. And I think my streams, my content kind of reflect that. So, sometimes I'll go a little crazy, turn some music on, but other times I'm just kind of chill.
Well, what got you into Clash, and then what got you into streaming later on?
So as far as like getting into Clash, my dad actually got me into it, and I kind of just kept playing since then. And he was actually the one that actually got me into streaming as well. So I was like, you know what, I'll try it. I kind of just did it as like a meme, and then kind of just stuck with it ever since then. I just kind of, I don't know, kept streaming. Kind of just enjoyed it, learned to like it.
How many town halls do you play right now?
Oof. I think I have about like 20 accounts, but I don't play on most of them now. I have mainly just play on my two town hall 16s and my 14 currently, I would say.
Like not even with Hammer Jam, you're not going back and upgrading stuff, or what?
Oh yeah, during Hammer Jam, I'm probably gonna play at least on all of them a couple times. I'm definitely gonna focus on like on my second and third to try to like get them up, especially because I think Town Hall 17 is probably right around the corner. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna play like a lot this month at least.
Dude, this Hammer Jam's nuts, man. I'm loving every second of it.
I can't believe that it's like half everything, like half off of everything at one time. It's crazy.
Yeah, it like, and plus just like loot is wild right now. It's so much fun to play and farm like lower accounts in a way that it hasn't been in a long time, because like equipment kind of killed my desire to upgrade a lot of lower accounts just because it's so much to do. But I don't know, man. I'm having fun playing a lower account for the first time in a year.
Yeah, especially like finding like it's like back to back. Like I haven't even had to really search. Like I just press attack and I find a base like 40k dark elixir, 5 million like golden elixir. It's just like absolutely absurd. Like multiple times in the same like hour. I'm just like, wow.
People have loved Hammer Jam in the last couple of years. It's been like just cost, right? So it's like it's always just like walls, but man, like half the time, half the cost applies to heroes and in the lab and everything else, dude. It's very cool of them. And it's gonna be hard for them to top it, a year from now. What kind of streams do you think you do mostly?
So as far as streaming goes, mainly the stream content I do, I would say probably just Legend League. I try to push Legend League. I try to push at the higher levels. Sometimes I kind of throw a little bit, and yeah, mainly just I guess top Legend League content and Clan Wars, Clamor League, that kind of stuff.
What's your best Legends finish?
403 globally is my best.
Oh,
finish.
nice. I think like my best finish is like, I have to open my profile, but I think it's in between 2,000 and 3,000, like maybe 2,500 or a little lower. Someone told me right now I'm like 35th in the US somehow. Yeah, you streamed every day for a full year. Is that still going on? You still got the streak going?
Yes, it is. It is still going on. So like I made the commitment to stream every day. Like since I came back, like I kind of like started, took a break, came back like last July. So every day, it's been every day since July 4th. So it's like a streak of 493 days, like straight, like no days off. So it's been
Nice.
pretty insane.
Even with the trip in Finland, man, you were streaming out there at least a little bit every day, right?
Yeah, a little bit here and there, like just like an hour, like just half an hour, just trying to get it daily, keep the streak going somehow.
Dude, man, like I knew you were wild trying to do it because we were having dinner that night, like when we are at Supercell, and like you streamed that like entire dinner.
Dude, yeah, that was like kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back, I'm like, but people liked it, I guess. They were enjoying the IRL dinner content. So I was like, you know what? I mean, might as well, right?
Yeah, we're enjoying it, joining your stream and trying to clown on you a little bit.
Yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it, like to say the least. It was really, really fun. It was such a good time.
Back in the summer when we first got our invites, was that like just totally unexpected for you? You know, like what did that feel like when you woke up and saw that email?
Yeah, so when I kind of checked the email and I kind of saw like I can't remember exactly what it said, but it said something like I think it was just like, yeah, like an invitation. And I was just like, okay, like maybe this is just like a generic response I got to fill out more. But once I like looked at it more, I'm like, holy crap, like I'm getting invited to like go and like be there in person and like watch party the whole thing in person. It was just like I couldn't believe it at first. I thought it was just like one of those things where you get it and it's just like sent out to everybody, but no, it was like an actual like invite, and I was just kind of speechless, to be honest.
Yeah, man, it's like it was cool. I wasn't expecting it like the first year I went either, and then like every year and like this is my third time and it's still like getting around that part, like to that time of the year and just starting, to anxiously refresh my inbox every day, checking. Oh yeah, real quick, I forgot to say it at the beginning. Everyone, we have a bot set up, so at the end, if y'all have any questions for Term or me or whatever, just things you want to hear talked about, in chat, type question ask and then ask a question, and the bot will add it to our list for us to check at the end. So yeah, question mark ask in the chat. The bot will add a little reaction, showing you that it logged it, and then yeah, we'll go through listener questions down at the end. But our first night there, like we show up, we're tired from that flight, check into the hotel, and just you're waiting in that lounge, just seeing how excited you got to meet everyone. It made the trip fun for me again. Not that it wasn't fun, but like I've been there and done that a few times now. But it was really cool seeing how excited you got. So is there anyone that like that you met that really stood out?
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, you were the first person that I met like ever. I would say IRL, like when I first met you, like at the airport. So that
Oh
was
yeah,
that was pretty
technically, yeah.
awesome. Uh, yeah. And then as far as like meeting everyone, yeah, you were the first person that I met, which is pretty nice. And then, I mean, yeah, like I was pretty much just going up to everybody. And I just started like shaking everybody's hand, like saying nice to meet you. And then after that, I realized like, there's like 200 people here. Maybe I shouldn't go up to like everybody. I tried, but it kind of got to the point where, there was just so many people. But as far as like specific people though, like I would say all the top like Clash creators like Judo, Itsu, Carbon, Clash Bashing, like I was just going crazy. Like as soon as they walked through the door, I immediately asked them like, "Can I get a picture?" Like they're probably so like wait a minute, like what's going on here? But I'm like, Judo, can I get a picture? And he was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, wow, man, this is insane.
Yeah, you were just pinging around that whole room, and then like the Navi guys showed up, and you went nuts. It was fun to watch. It was like taking a kid to Disneyland. Like, it was man, it was a good time. Is there anyone that you wanted to meet but like just didn't have a chance to, or maybe didn't have enough time to really talk to?
Um, I would say, I mean, I really kind of wanted to like talk to the community managers a little bit more than I did. I mean, especially like the other community managers as well. I mean, I pretty much talked to like Marco, Ferry, Frame, but I wanted to like discuss more with them. I just there just wasn't enough time. Everybody was busy, plus we're doing all the activities. So if I could talk to them more, that would be cool. Or even like anybody, like all of like the Judo maybe or Itsu, that would be great. But
Yeah, like I still like I've still never talked to Itsu. Like I might have like said hey or whatever, but I've never had a chance to actually talk with him. And I hardly saw. I think I saw Ferry from across the room. I don't know, and like I said hey to Frame, and I had a little bit of a talk with Marco, which was cool. But yeah, they weren't like around the whole time. They're probably they must have been working.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the finals first. Like overall, man, how did you enjoy like the tournament and watching the wars and stuff?
The entire tournament was crazy. It was awesome. Like just being there, being in the crowd, like cheering with the fans, like you really felt like the energy and excitement and like the suspense. Like once like things got like heated, like once things got like really, really down, like to the wire, like attacks, like being really close to like failing or last second tripling, like you could really feel like the energy. It got crazy like with the fans too. Like the fans were in the crowd. You had like the MMG fans on one side, you had like the Tribe fans, Synchronic fans, you even had the MTFY fans. Like they were just it was just the energy was just something else being there, man. It was truly crazy.
Yeah, that would have been your first like live Clash event, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
First ever like esports event like ever. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun, man. Like this year too, just like the arena was so cool, and like they really did it up, especially having all three games there. It's been the same area for the last 3 years, and if like it just feels like it gets bigger somehow. I don't. It's weird. But yeah, they had like their the little area designed for each game. There's like the heyday was the snack area, and they had the CR stuff and the Clash stage from previous years, even Boom Beach back in the corner. But yeah, like the wars were like being there watching them. The wars were a lot more exciting than I was expecting them to be. Having watched a year of fairly stale Town Hall 16 wars. Who was your team coming in?
Coming in, I was honestly kind of rooting for Navi. I mean, I've kind of just been like a Navi fanboy, like when they came in, and you were kind of mentioning earlier, like I just wanted to like take a picture with all the Navi players. I was just like Navi, but then they got out the first round, man. And I was like, oh man, I didn't even know what to say after that. They like,
Yeah,
yeah,
because they lost to was it Synchronic they won?
yeah, they lost Synchronic and they lost to MTFY like back to back too.
I know and the Chinese team was looking good too. Like they came in with a bunch of different strats. With like that very first attack was like the first one they did was back to like Root Riders, and I don't know, man. Like I think they used like 4 or 5 different strats that first war, and they looked good, which was surprising I think to everyone. And then I know like day 2, man. I really thought Tribe looked real strong. Thought they could pull it out to the end, but second place is just Tribe's place apparently. I don't know. No, like that probably sounded mean, but I don't know, man. We've talked to a couple Tribe guys here over the years. Man, I really thought they could have had it this year, but it's cool to see them, have another crack at it. I'm sure they'll be back strong next year. You have any like favorite moments from the whole tournament? At least as far as like the esports wars stuff goes.
I had a couple, yeah. There was a lot of I already said like Navi getting knocked out like first day. I really was like going for them, but them getting knocked out, I think everybody was just so surprised about Navi getting knocked out. And then I think the second one though was when MTFY 1-star, like they were up like the entire war. They hadn't failed. I think they were like, it's four attacks, all triples. There were 12 stars. All they had to do, I think, was get 2 stars, and they like guaranteed like went to the finals. And then they 1-starred, and everybody just like you could just hear like the entire like stadium just like gasp, like not say a single thing.
Yeah,
like they were just like,
that was so hard to watch, dude. Like being there, because like the guy was obviously distressed and upset about the way that attack went. But then like where we were sitting, you could like see his face, like in person, see his face. It was hard to watch someone like lose their dream right in front of you like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too was like I kind of felt bad at first too, but then I thought it was like a little bit. I thought it was a little bit interesting afterwards how they like mentioned, or I guess they tweeted, like they were saying that the reason why they 1-starred was because I guess the crowd was too loud. So
Yeah,
after that, I was just like, I don't know, man. Like your fans are pretty loud too.
yeah. Like, was that just like some random clowns doing that, or like I don't think it was the actual like the actual MTFY players or team, right?
I mean, I think it was. I mean,
Oh, I
people
don't
were
know.
saying that it was. Like they replied under their actual like Supercell, like the Supercell's tweet, and I was just like, no way. And even on like on the Reddit too, people were saying, I'm like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I saw there was one goober on Reddit who was saying it was essentially cheating that Tribe had players there like cheering for them and being loud, which is that's silly, man. The Chinese team had fans that were cheering as well, just not as many, obviously, because it's harder to travel from China to Europe than from, like tribes from Germany, right? So it's a little bit easier to come to Finland. But also, like the format of the finals was known in advance. You could watch videos and know that like at least Tribe specifically is going to try and get crowd noise going and people cheering and just to make it a good show, not necessarily for any kind of advantage. But my thought on the whole thing was just if you didn't come prepared to play through crowd noise, then you didn't come prepared to play in the world.
Right. Yeah. And talking more about the crowd, like it was pretty interesting too because like so Synchronic and Tribe, both German teams. So it was kind of funny because I was sitting like with them like on the final day, grand finals day, and Synchronic fans sat with Tribe fans and they were like cheering on like Tribe and Synchronic, and then like once it got to the grand finals, you could just see all of the Tribe fans like they went to the other side, so like that was pretty insane too. Like then like the Tribe fans were actually cheering on the Tribe and Synchronic was cheering on Synchronic. And it was kind of like a four-way thing going on, like Tribe, MMG, Synchronic, and then MTFY. Like it was just so insane, like seeing that split and like everybody just cheering their own team. It was really funny.
Yeah, it was definitely I think the most the most involved the crowd's been in at least in the 3 years I've went. But yeah, it was a fun atmosphere. It made everything more entertaining. And just like the fact that it was close wars, it wasn't just like time meta, hoping for fails. And it still kind of was, but there were, 13, 14, and 15-star wars the whole time. It was like nothing felt decided after the first 2-star, like a lot of boring wars in the rest of the year leading up to this.
Yeah, the matchups were really really close. Really really I mean, we saw like the same strategies that we were seeing like throughout the years. Like we kind of expected it, but the whole like E-Tide and Smash Army, they were Synchronic was just so like consistent, man. Like they were just so good. Like I think Tribe was good too, but Synchronic was just like they were perfect. Like first 2 days they just did not fail, or like the first 2 words they didn't fail, and then like coming in, I think they only failed like one or two times the entire like grand finals, which was crazy.
All right. Anything else you feel like getting off your chest about the tournament?
As far as the like actual tournament, no. I mean, I think that's. I mean, it was just crazy all around. I think more so like kind of how you were talking about like the just the arena in general, also too. Like the whole setup was just super nice. Like seeing all the games, and also like. I mean, not specifically just like Clash of Clans Worlds as well. I mean, even like Clash Royale and Brawl Stars. Like I stayed a little bit for that, and the crowds were really fun to be around for that too. So that was definitely crazy.
Dude, I'm still like, man, I'm still shocked they dropped like the Dragon Force was going to be there during the Brawl Stars final, like as a surprise.
It was like a halftime show, like in the
Yeah,
middle of like Brawl Stars. I'm like, dude, what is going on? Like, why didn't we get this? That was pretty crazy.
Brawl Stars gets all the cool stuff. But yeah, it almost convinced me to stay and watch Brawl Stars. But yeah, I felt like getting to the after party after, and then Dragon Force showed up to that too, like 10 minutes after I left.
They
But
really?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. You know that dude? That's like, yeah. Bash was sending me pictures of him with Herman Lee, and like the whole band showed up, and I guess it had like died down enough to where they're just going around talking to everyone, sitting down, having some drinks, hanging out.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes after we left, I started getting texts from people like, "Yo, Dragon Force is here." And I was like, I don't know if I want to go back.
That's crazy, man. I that made me want to stay more, but I was already there till like 1 a.m. So I don't know if they were there when I was there or like they already left. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's about when I left. So I think it was like the last hour of when the night party was going on.
Wow.
But dude, I do want to say, I just circle back for a second. The Titan attack that Synchronic was doing, I got super cocky, like trying to do. Corrupt was telling me it's like really easy to replicate, and it did look pretty simple, or like they made it look simple. So I did it for like a whole day in Legends. I think I went like 7 for 8 in Legends that day, and I did it. And then I picked a base that I thought would be pretty decent for it in CWL, and it was like, I can make a bunch of excuses because I have COVID. If you can't hear it in my voice, but so that was like the worst day, and my brain was just not working. But I got cocky, tried it in CWL. It was like the first 1-star I've had in CWL in months.
Oof.
And then and then had to go immediately back to Fireball Witches.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, like what kind of attacks are you using lately mostly?
Pretty much the same. I've been using Fireball Super Witch, I'm gonna be honest. But last month with all the lava loons like going on, like all the event troops, I didn't really try to push last month. I actually like tried a bunch of armies like QC Lalo. I tried like they call it, I guess, golfing. The golfing shot where you use like mass rocket balloons with like trying to get the fireball in the middle. I used that a bunch and I did okay with it. I was getting pretty good with it in the end, but then eventually I just switched back to Super Witches. I'm like, this is too much. Like that strategy, you had to get everything right. Like get the arrow on the town hall, get the fireball in the middle, save the warden, save the RC, save the king, and it was just like so hard to do, like in a Legend League army versus like a Clamor League attack, So I just Super Witches are pretty good with Warden Walk, 5 healers. So
World Finals, half the point of the trip too. The other big thing, meeting the guys at Supercell, hearing about the next update, talking with them, engaging with the devs and the community managers and just like art guys are there floating around. There's everyone. Those conversations I think are always my favorite part of going to Finland. So just overall, man, like how do you think how do you feel Supercell treated us on this trip?
And overall, they basically treated us like royalty. I mean, the entire experience, like from the moment we landed and found like the first Supercell employees, like taking the bus and getting to or taking the shuttle to like the actual hotel. I mean, they were so friendly. There was like an employee every step of the way. Like the moment you go into like the lounge, I mean, everything's just set up. There's like, it's like a really nice room. They have like tables. They were like getting the food ready. They have like this unlimited snack area that like never ran out of stuff. Like there was always like somebody, like an employee, just putting stuff in there. Food was like incredible. Like the food was actually pretty good. Even like at the dinner, it was pretty good. I mean, I thought it was just gonna be like basic food, but I thought it was pretty good. Like they had like the lasagna the last day. It was really good.
We had a fancy dinner. We had a freaking really fancy dinner that first night. Tuna tartare, which I'd never had, but anything tartare is super fancy.
That was the worst part.
Raw fish in some kind of oil and sauce. It was different, It's nothing I like would seek out and try again on my own, but they want to give me fancy food, I'm gonna try it. And it was like roasted lamb goulash and the wine and cider and beer and long drinks and someone asked do they pay for flights and accommodations, and yeah, you can get away that whole week, man. You didn't have to spend a dime.
Yeah, literally when you got there, like literally every like so like I was messaging Rick, like DMing Rick like a lot, like before the trip, I would say. And even like Magic and a couple other people too. But like he was saying like pretty much everything is covered. And when he said pretty much everything is covered, like not pretty much, like literally you could literally go there and not have to spend a single thing. Like the only time I spent money was when I went to the store and I got like some cookies and like a soda. And I didn't even I still have it. I brought it back with me. I didn't even drink or eat it because they literally had like snacks, water, food, everything you could literally need when you're there. They had all of it. So you could get away with spending quite literally like $0 when you were there.
Yeah, I think like if you want to eat a meal in the airport, like if the overnight flight meals don't really time out well to when you get hungry, that's kind of it. I did have to pay for a hotel in Dallas on the way home because we got a little bit screwed on that flight. But beyond that, dude, it was a totally free trip and experience. And then we come home all super happy and hype it up, so it's probably good advertising dollars spent.
Yeah.
One of the other cool things, just totally unrelated, that they do just to be generous is they arrange for like just cool little, I don't know, field trips isn't the right word, but like if it was a cruise, it'd be excursions out into Helsinki. Just fun stuff for creators and players to head out and have fun. You and I, we did axe throwing together the first night, which is really cool. Like, have you ever done axe throwing before?
I've never done axe throwing before. That was like the first time, and it was pretty cool doing it with you. I wasn't like alone doing it, so.
So this, like, I'm not normally a super competitive guy, but I do gotta say, like, I was feeling a little good that I was just straight up crushing you in axe throwing for 2 straight hours, and then really disappointed. But in the end, when they're like, all right, we're gonna have one big like competition of everyone, and then out of nowhere you suddenly got competent and and beat me in that final competition.
Yeah, I made it, like, I guess I made it all the way to like
Yeah.
second, but then the other guy like beat me because he got it on like the little green dots. So I'm like,
Yeah.
GG's, you know?
You almost won. It was you and some other like random content creator I don't even remember, and the Clash Champs guy Agester. It was like in the final round. But yeah,
I think Agester won.
Yeah,
Agester won.
yeah, and I guess he also won like a good like the go-karting race the next day, because go-karting was one of the other options. What'd you do on the second day?
Second day I originally picked the tour, but I guess like not enough people picked it, so it got like canceled. So I was gonna do go-karting, and then I realized that like they delayed go-karting like an hour by now, so it was gonna be like 5:30, and it started at 6:30, and I realized it was gonna like come back late after dinner, so I said no, and then I didn't do anything the second day. I just kind of just chilled as far as the activity goes at the lounge.
Oh yeah, dude. I did the sauna for the other one. It was so cool. A couple hours in the world's hottest sauna, like sitting in an oven, is insane. Like, I've been in hot saunas, but I don't know, they take it to a new level. And then what like what you do, because it's right on the ocean, and they have like stairs down to a little dock. So you leave the 4,000 degree oven and you go jump in the freezing cold ocean in the dark, and hang out in the icy water for as long as you can stand, and then you go back inside and warm up, and you just do that a bunch of nights, like in and out. So I got to go jump in the freezing cold ocean, 5, 6, 7 times, and go back in the sauna. It was really cool. Felt amazing. It was a real clear night, like, so you can see the stars and everything. Total blast.
Dude, that's insane. You jumped in 6 or 7 times in the ocean.
Yeah, dude, I was trying to man up and just like stay in the water for like a full minute. I couldn't do it. Like, it's cold, man. It's really cold. But even the Finns are like, there's it was mostly Finnish people there. They didn't like rent out the whole place. But like even the Finns are like, they're like, man, you like, are you all right? Like, most people just dunk and get out like immediately. But I was trying to be a tough guy.
Dude, that's crazy. 6 or 7 times. It's actually
Dude, it was fun.
insane.
It felt good. It felt so good. Like, I don't know. It was cool. It was a real fun experience. But I don't know. I guess we should probably get back to talking about Clash. We saw what I will just call the next update, and people can make pretty reasonable assumptions as to what that is. But we can't really talk about the details of that yet. But your overall reaction, positive, negative, you think it's gonna be a good one?
I think overall I'm excited. I think overall I'm looking forward to the next update. Definitely 100%. I mean, yeah, like you said, I think we can all, kind of know like what it's gonna be. I'm excited. They showed, they explained some stuff, and it was really cool to see behind the scenes and stuff like that. I was surprised, to say the least. I was surprised.
What's been funny to me the last couple of years too is, like 2 years ago they showed us Town Hall 15, and then last year, obviously Town Hall 16. But like these have been, right before the release of those 2 town halls were those trips, and just like how unfinished a lot of stuff felt just seems insane to me, that this is, like, hey, your biggest releases of the year, and you're 2-3 weeks out maybe, and this stuff is looking janky. But like they have managed to tighten it up and get it out. Me, I don't know, like, I feel there's a lot of really like ridiculously cool stuff coming, and then there's some stuff that I think I'm a little less excited about, more cynical on what's going on. But I don't know. I've been saying like a B plus or like a B minus as for a grade. But I don't know. Like the more I think about it, it's weird. Like there's good and there's bad.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely different. I don't know about like a rating system though. Like I feel like a B might be reasonable. I mean, I don't know. I'm just always hyped for like, when new things come out, like when stuff's coming out. So I would say maybe I'm just like biased towards being excited. I would give it like an A. I don't know. I would say I'm pretty excited. I think
I know, like
I think it's the insane stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, this is this is like the third version of this podcast episode that we've had. Because I talked about, this is the third time I've talked about like, hey, I just took a Finland trip and came back. And the last 2 years I came back and we're like, I was like, guys, Town 15 is gonna be the best town hall ever, and clearly that didn't really work out. And then I got equally hyped for Town Hall 16, and 16 was a lot better, but like over the course of the year, it didn't pan out to be a great experience for a lot of people either. I think the next update's going to kind of right the ship in a lot of ways, but also too, there's been like a lot of concerning trends in the game that are going to continue and amplify. A lot of people that 16 drove away, I think, are going to do good to come back to the game, and I hope they do.
I think I agree. Like I feel like it's gonna be. I think like the biggest thing, like at least I've been saying they should push for, is like kind of the best of both worlds. Keep like trying to keep a difficulty, but also like don't like make it so like it's too narrow of a meta. And I'm hoping that that's kind of what we're going for, at least with this. I think like a lot of people are saying it's a make or break kind of. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I think it's like hopefully the best of both worlds. When whenever that does happen, that'll be great for the game.
Yeah. So I know, like, there's people in the chat asking, like, asking, do we read the chat? But yeah, yes, we do. But also, there's guys saying, hey, I'm a 13, I'm a 14. Do you think there's fun stuff for players of all levels coming?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I do, but I can't obviously say what.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different cool stuff that I think people all over are gonna are gonna enjoy. And there's something that like I'm so glad I'm gonna be so mad if it leaks because it's so cool. I want people to like experience it and just have their mind blown, like waking up and seeing it in game. So yeah, like I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about because there's a few different things.
I think I know. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that's gonna be crazy.
It is. Now we're just like teasing people. I know. One of the differences, though, I'll say, between this year and previous years, is I think they talked more about like the long-term vision for Clash. There was some conversations we had with them last year where they're like, hey, like, like where do you see Clash on, like how do you envision the game during Clash's 15th anniversary or the 20th anniversary? Where do you see the game being? How does the game need to evolve to make it that far and stay relevant that long? And it was more them asking the question. And this year it was a lot of those same conversations, but with a year more of the thought process behind it. So it's a whole lot of talk of, hey, like this is how we're gonna have to evolve the game, and this is where we want to get it to. So I guess what I'll ask you is, given those kind of conversations that we had, and I know you went off and had, stuff, talks that I wasn't able to be a part of. How do you feel about the direction the game's going over the next, 3 years?
I think overall, in all honesty, I think that the direction moving forward is going in the right direction. I feel like, especially like in the last year, like Town Hall 16's been like a really big, like they even said it themselves, like a big learning. Like they've been trying to learn a lot this year, adjusting the difficulty and going from there. And even like when, like I was even asking questions, like you could really tell like they're pretty like aware of like what's like the current state of the game, like the current issues in the game. Like they really do listen to like player feedback, our feedback, and they hear the feedback. I think the biggest thing is like them just trying to like like solve like the problems without like making to like another problem. Like they want to fix it right the first time before like just doing like a band-aid fix and then going from there. But I think like you could tell like they genuinely want to fix underlying issues or like problems, or like also like just add cool things that would like increase the longevity of Clash in general, and also like just make it an overall more smoother, better experience. I think overall it's looking positive, I would say.
Yeah. They raised a lot of questions. They have identified a lot of problems that the game has, and problems that they're going to have to solve somehow to get the game to where they want it to be. And I heard a lot of questions, and I saw them identifying problems. I think identifying the right problems, and they either chose not to share or they don't have it really figured out yet. But I didn't hear a lot of answers, so I'm kind of optimistic that they are thinking long term in ways that the team apparently hasn't before. Like an example of things that we can talk about are supercharges. We talked to one of the devs who basically was in charge of like the whole supercharge process, and yeah, like those are a really cool way that they can keep maxed out players busy without like impacting the long term length of the game too. So like I don't think anyone likes all the double levels of Town Hall 12, and that was a problem that like they needed to give players something to do, and the way they went about that was by just giving us extra levels of stuff. And now I think if they could go back and remove them, they probably would. But bringing supercharges in allows them to let us stay busy, keep the expectation reasonable that hey, you're gonna lose this at some point. So I don't, and it's a nice way to like tweak the balance as needed too. And a lot of cool stuff came out of that too. He was explaining to us that the tactical overview, the quality of life that we got an update or two ago, that grew out of them trying to solve the problem of like how do we visually show people that something is supercharged. Before they had the whole lightning thing figured out, they were just brainstorming ideas for that, and somebody was like, yeah, why can't I just tap on one thing and see all the ranges of the same type of building? And light bulbs went off as if players hadn't asked for something similar to that already, but it got it done. So I don't know. I'm glad that they're looking long term at all these problems and identifying like, hey, like sometimes you attack and the loot just sucks, and that's not fun, and things take way too long to upgrade, and we're making them shorter, but you make them short enough and it becomes meaningless to a certain extent, and like the percentage of players that are max is actually pretty low, but they want to get it much higher, and how do they do that without gutting the core experience of the game? And it's because it is a game of progression as much as like strategy and attacking. So I don't know, a whole lot of problems they raised, but and I'm just excited that they're like thinking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So you guys, if you have questions that you'd like to hear Termy's take on, go ahead and ask them. I see people have already started to figure it out. I meant to remind everyone like 4 times, but I forgot. So start your comment with !ask, and then ask your question, and that tosses it on a spreadsheet. It's a little easier for us to keep track of as we go on. I saw one way at the beginning before I explained this that said, "What kind of mic are you using?"
I think I'm using, dude, I don't even know the name. I'm using like a HyperX mic. I got it out of like from Best Buy for like, I don't know, less than $100.
Oh, nice. Just like a USB mic.
Yeah, like a USB mic, has like a boom arm on it. It's pretty cool. Lights up.
Oh yeah. I keep looking like expecting to like see you, because that's how I'm used to interacting with you is seeing you sit in your room with your jersey on and stuff. All right. Somebody asked, how are balance changes made? So that's not really like up to creators, but I don't know, like you've seen the process for, 'cause you've been a super creator for almost a year, right?
Right. Yeah. Almost a year.
Yeah. So like, Yeah, what's been your experience like seeing balance changes come in and testing and doing that, if you want to explain it?
So, I mean, I can like say like they kind of have us like, you know, when it comes to like balance changes, though. So normally when it comes to balance changes, I mean, like we don't really have like much of an effect, I would say. I mean, they kind of ask for our feedback. We can test. Like the current balance. Like if they suggest balance changes, they'll let us test it. We give our feedback. Like if something's too strong, we can kind of tell them like, oh, this is looking kind of strong. This is looking a little weak, and then they might take that and like kind of implement it. But it's kind of just, I would say, mainly up to like the dev team and like the balance change team to like implement it themselves. Like, yes, we can, and we do like test balance changes, but I don't know if it really has like that great of an effect, unless it's like we're all saying the same thing, maybe. But yeah,
Yeah, there's like I think we're not their main playtesters at all. Sometimes I wonder with how buggy things are, but yeah, like for the most part, it always feels like they'll come to us and say, "Here's the change that we want you to test. Here's the stats. It's in the new dev build. Go out and then we're just an additional source of feedback where we can say, hey, this feels too easy, or feels too much, blah blah blah." And I think there are there are examples though where creators have given specific balanced feedback, and I've seen that implemented. Like Asher, Asher is always going off about builder based stuff. Sometime earlier this year, maybe last year, there was like a dropship nerf, and I think it was like verbatim something like even the stats, the numbers were directly off feedback he gave.
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it might have been like the way they dropped the bomb. I don't even know because I don't play builder base, obviously. Like, yeah, there are I think other creators who they trust more to like they'll listen to a little more with that kind of feedback than just someone like me who just goes in and says like it's too hard.
Yeah, like when it comes to like maybe like really in depth like feedback, I feel like, and maybe like if we're actually like pointing out like something pretty like specific, and then you can kind of like raise like the question of like, yeah, this is like this interaction is not really how it should work, then maybe. But yeah, kind of like you said, like most of the time they kind of have it where it's just, here's what we're gonna try to put out there, test it, let us know what you think, and then yeah, go from there.
So was another question. Some guy saying, "What's up with Clash these days? Hasn't played since Town Hall 13. Is it still free to play? Is it still fun for people looking for 5 to 6 hours a week?" What do you think about that?
I think yes. Honestly, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I truly believe like Town Hall 16 is definitely, I would say, been controversial, like especially like at the top with like difficulty and stuff. But I would say, I think this year especially, this is like, I don't know. I feel like this is like probably one of the best years, like one of the best, like, I don't know, just like all the updates, like the past year, like just in general. I feel like they've really made it more free to play friendly. It minus the equipments, of course. Like I think that's the only like bad part about like returning players, new players. I think they really have to do something about the equipments, like costing 1,500 gems.
Yeah, dude.
Overall, I would say the game is still fun. There's a lot to do. Like you can stay really busy, and I mean, and maybe it could be overwhelming, but I think that the current, like the way they've been going, the updates have been really cool. I don't know.
Like I remember I asked like something along the lines of like, "Hey, are you guys happy with the rate of that that we get ore, and that like the rate at which players are upgrading their equipment?" and it was such a frustrating answer too, because the answer was yes. Like they're basically happy with the way it is right now, but that came on the tail of like everything had this caveat of like, you guys are not the average player. Like you guys are the most dedicated people who spend the most time, put the most amount of effort to learn new stuff. Like we can't design the game to serve like that audience, because 99% of people aren't like this level. So they have to like design the game for a frankly much more casual, less interested player. Someone was like, dude, this is a game I play on the toilet. So like
Right.
that's where they have to aim everything. Except when it comes to ore, they're like, okay, like they don't want us having everything too quick and too fast. For some reason, the rate of ore and equipment progression gets balanced towards us, and it's just that inconsistency too. And there was a lot of other like inconsistent type answers too that I kind of want to chalk up a little to like maybe translation problems, or or maybe just people aren't informed about every aspect of the game, because they are, it's Supercell. They work in different cells, and not everyone works on every part of the game too. But like just for example, I asked about the lack of Royal Champion skins the last couple months. Like, what's up with that? And the answer was like, hey, like, dude, like they're busy. They're working on a lot of stuff. But part of what this individual said back to me was like, by not doing that many skins each month, they're gonna be able to like maybe go back and complete old sets at some point, which makes no sense because you're making more incomplete sets. So I don't know how you're saying like as I don't know, you're not gonna catch up doing that way. So I don't get it.
Yeah.
That was one of the more like weird little frustrating conversations I had, and there were more frustrating stuff too. Like we asked to elaborate on I don't want to steal a whole lot of Trample's thunder because I'm sure he's going to talk about it too, but I know Trample pushed really hard on the unlimited heroes thing. During like during Stewart's AMA, he's kind of said like, hey, like it didn't really move the needle in any measurable metric that they cared about. Like players didn't play more. They didn't like spend more time in game. They didn't do a whole lot of other stuff. Having heroes that month, so they kind of wrote it off as like, oh, okay, apparently like people say it matters, but it doesn't really matter in their behavior. We tried to explain why that's not the greatest way to look at it, but I don't know if they really wanted to hear it. I'm sure he's going to talk a whole lot about it because Trample's super passionate about that.
Yeah.
Clash Fan 9, what's up, dude? He said, what do you think of the future Clash? That is what we've been talking about for the last 20 minutes. So you're gonna have to download this when I publish it. Will there be any plans to make walls cheaper in the game when Hammer Jam ends? What do you think, Term?
I mean, they release. I mean, every time they release a new town hall, they always like do cost reductions. So I would assume yes. I mean, walls will be cheaper moving forward after whenever they release the next town hall. So yeah, in short.
Yeah, historically there's been pretty significant cost and time reductions in lower town halls. I wouldn't expect a whole lot for like town hall 16 time stuff. That's generally not what they do. Like when 16 came out, 15 barely got touched. Like I think everything came down, but like there weren't a whole lot of cuts out of 15. It was all from much lower town halls. So I would expect that to still be the case here. Storm asks, I'm scared that Supercell leaves lower town halls behind. Do either of you ever feel obligated to talk about other non-max town halls? What do you say?
So I think as far as leaving lower town halls behind, I think so like I'll just say this, like moving forward, like in the next like few years, I really think their goal is to probably crack down on that. Like I think they really, like you were talking about earlier, like a lot of people, statistically, a lot of people stop playing like at Town Hall Bowl for whatever reason. Even when we were like walking in the airport, we had like some random guy like was talking to us, and he was like, I was like, "Have you ever heard of Clash of Clans?" Like, yeah, and he's like, "But I stopped playing at Town Hall. I stopped playing because of my heroes." And I'm like, "Oh, what Town Hall?" He's like, "Town Hall 12." I'm like, "Oh, no wonder." So I think that over like the next year, I think that might be their main focus of like getting like lower town halls more engaged, like more motivated to keep playing, because like that is, I think, one of like the underlying issues they did mention of like, because like I mean, if they keep releasing town halls, like that's great, but like what happens to like your town hall 1, a new player, and you see like there's 20 town halls, and you ask somebody, like they ask you, how long does it take me to get to town hall 20? Like 5 years. That person's just not even gonna play. They're just gonna quit. So I think they're gonna probably address it moving forward.
Yeah, that was one of the things too that I was alluding to earlier when I was saying like, hey, they are identifying those problems that the game has. Like for example, it's impossible for us to introduce the game to new people and say, like, come play with me, because you can't, like I can tell people that Clash is great and I've spent 10 years of my life playing it, and then it's like, oh, that's awesome, like I'll download it and we'll play together, and I have to be like, no, we won't, because you're gonna be Town Hall 2, and it's gonna take you years, and then there's implications with that for esports, and there's a whole lot of problems. But they do want to significantly drag down like the time to max. And they don't know how they're going to do it, as far as I know. I don't know how they're going to do it to any significant amount.
I think like the biggest thing, like last thing I'll say is, like, I think like, like lowering the costs, lowering the times is great, but I think they should really push, like, I don't know, like, how they're gonna do it either. Like, I have like some suggestions, but I think they just need to like focus on engaging players, like keeping players like engaged and motivated to keep playing, like, because you can nerf all the times and all the costs that you want, like that's cool. But like if you get bored, like even if you still get bored at Silent 12, you're still gonna quit. I think that's like another issue. Like they gotta make it interesting.
Yeah, like training times need to come down significantly, I think. Like that's the best part of events too, is that you get an additional 30, 40, whatever % off your training time. And that makes like you can't just continually attack all, forever, all day. But it brings it down enough to where it feels, pretty zippy. Like equipment does a pretty good job, I think, of engaging like a lot of different town halls all at the same time with similar content, at least too. When there's a new piece of epic equipment for the king, it's going to come out for everyone who has a king, whether you just got him at, well, I guess you don't have equipment at Town Hall 7, right?
No, Town Hall 8, yeah.
Yeah. So everyone who's Town Hall 8 and up, gets to share that same content and have that new, like experience at least a piece of a new update every time. And then, when you get your queen at 9, that's going to happen again, and on and on and on. So equipment was a nice way to like be able to introduce content across the board. And there is, more stuff coming, I think, like that. Like the treasure hunt is across the board content, with treasure chests. So like they are bringing content to the game for all players outside of just adding on a new town hall too. So I don't know that was a fair criticism, I guess, but but obviously still, like most of the new content is going to be for max town halls. That's just how the game is.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do a couple more. You're not in a hurry, are you?
No, definitely not.
All right. Yeah, cool. 'Cause, like, I mean, we've been here an hour, so I wouldn't blame you for dipping out. But I normally like to go like an hour 15-ish, and then I'll cut it back down to close to an hour. When do we get the next quality of life update? I wish we could tell you. But yeah, we did hear a lot of cool quality of life stuff, I'll say.
Yeah. We don't know though.
Yeah. Like even a lot of the stuff we did hear, I don't know like if it's going to drop immediately or 6 months from now. But yeah, there is some cool quality of life stuff coming. How long would you estimate it would take for Termy to make 10 accounts and get it to Town Hall 16? Like, how long would it take someone to get 10 accounts all the way to Town Hall 16?
10 accounts. I'll probably just answer for one account.
and then you do the math.
Yeah, right. I think right now I think it only takes, I think they did like a free to play project. Gates made a video on that. I think it only takes, if you do event pass and you do gold pass, I think it literally takes less than 2 years to get to Town Hall 16, like almost fully maxed. It's pretty crazy. But that's if you know what you're doing though. That's the thing. But still.
Yeah, you can, do a super speed rush and get there a lot faster. But if you want to be like a developed 16, you're probably looking at, like well over 2 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Yeah, and to totally max it, the three closer to 4, and if you're like the average player, that we were talking about earlier, then it's 4 would be probably still optimistic.
Yeah.
And to do that for 10 accounts, man, you'd have to not have a job or a life.
Yeah, just play Clash all day. Like that's the life.
All right, someone said, "Am I a congressman?" Yeah, Georgia 12th. That's me. Just got reelected. All right. If there's anything else before we sign off, speak now or forever hold your peace.
I think that might be it, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm optimistic. I think the biggest thing, I'll say it again. Hopefully they change the 1500 gem thing for equipments. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They
overall,
gotta.
the trip to Finland was so good. They treated us so well. I enjoyed meeting all the creators, all the players, all the staff. Hopefully, I can get invited. We both can get invited next year. That would be a pleasure, like a big pleasure. So
Yeah, definitely, dude. And I had hey, man, I loved meeting you. I'm glad that we're still talking. Consider you a friend. I will talk to you, I'm sure, constantly for a while to come. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug or anyone you want to shout out?
yeah. I mean, if you want to follow me, I'm Termynater on everything. And I just want to say shout out to my dad for getting me into Clash of Clans and content creation in general. And shout out to all my friends at United 5. Shout out Refuse. That's my dog.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna include links to all your channels and socials in the episode description. Yeah, shout out to the Creator Fest chat group that we had going on, all those cool guys. It's been fun. It's become like my new main like source of Clash conversation. That group chat that we added you into. I think you were number 10. We hit the limit and hanging out, and someone's like, all right, like who else can we invite? And I think it was Cart tossed out like yo, how about Termy? And I never met you at that point, but yeah, glad I had a chance to, man.
Yeah, it was a good time meeting everybody. Like just before and even at the event, it was a good time, man. Thank you for having me on. It's been awesome. First ever podcast has been awesome.
Okay. Yeah, we will close this out too. I forgot right at the start. Someone said, "Was Rick drunk when you met him?"
Do I answer honestly?
That was like that. I forget who it was, but that is someone who clearly knows me. But yeah, go ahead and answer honestly,
dude. So, when I first met you at the airport, you were like, I'm down a couple beers already, so I don't know, maybe.
No, I don't think I was drunk.
Yeah, no.
I think I was. I mean, by the time we got up from that table and headed over to the gate to look for other people, I was feeling good.
Yeah, I think you were fine. You were just only a couple down.
Yeah, I think 6 beer Rick is like is the pretty standard getting to know people Rick.
Nice.
All right. That'll do it. Next episode is probably gonna be an update episode. So we'll go ahead and get that one scheduled as soon as we are allowed to announce a date. I'm gonna ping all y'all, and you guys are gonna have to deal with it. But it'll be a super fantastic one. We're gonna have Bash joining us again, as is tradition for these types of updates. Love all you guys. Thanks for listening. Catch you in an undetermined amount of time. All right, have a good one. All right, yeah. Thanks, dude. That was dope.
That was awesome, man. That was a good experience. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's a fun conversation. Like, it's always nice, like when you kind of know people and you can talk to them. Everything goes a little smoother. Dude, man, I feel like crap. Dude, my head is killing me right now. I just hope I wasn't like sniffling through that whole one, because it's gonna make editing a nightmare.
Nah, I think you were good. Dang, dude, did you get COVID from the trip or what? Again?
Yeah, 3 for 3, dude. I got
been to Worlds
3 times. Been to Worlds 3 times. Got COVID 3 times. But yeah, I came back and I was like, man, I'm sore, but also like we're on the flight. It took the flight was longer than it should have been. We had to hang on the airport. It was late in the weather, and then I had to sleep on a crappy, cheap hotel mattress in Dallas, and so it was two days of flying. So my whole body was sore, and I just chalked it up to being tired from the flight and everything else. And then I came home and like my wife like noticed me like sniffing and like doing the half cough stuff, and she's like, "You should take a COVID test." And then yeah, sure enough, man. Yeah.
Dude,
And
that's crazy, man. You were, and the crazy thing is too, like we were like the flight was like 12 and a half hours, and then we got there like at 7, then 12 hours, and then like I got back like in Arizona like at 9, and then I got home like at 10, and then you still had to fly like a couple hours. So like it was even longer for you. Like you had to wait at the airport and then still fly out. I'm like, oh my God, dude, that's crazy.
yeah, dude, I was hanging out in the Phoenix airport, like, and I was texting Ninja and texting Bash, like, all right, hey, like, it's 10 a.m. here, but in Finland, it's still like it's it's night, and like I had breakfast like 7 hours ago in a different time zone. Like, is it okay if I get a 10 a.m. margarita? And then yeah, Ninja and Bash both like they both gave me the thumbs up. So I just went and had some tacos and margaritas in Phoenix until I made it home.
How was that? How was the food? Was it good?
It was not. I think I just picked a crummy restaurant, dude. I was expecting it to be good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Oh damn.
no, Storm's like, we can still hear you. Like, yeah, yeah. I'm cutting all this. I wouldn't worry about it unless he says something hilarious. Then I'll leave it in. But
Dude,
yeah, we're just BSing now. Sorry. Like, yeah, like no one has to hang out unless you're enjoying hearing us just BS.
I was gonna say,
Gossip.
The whole yeah, like the whole jet lag, dude. Like I felt great when I was there because like normally I'm like up late. So like when I was over there, it was like kind of fine. Like I was like feeling pretty good. And then like the second day, like not the day I came back Tuesday, but Wednesday, I went to sleep. Like I stayed up late and then I went to sleep like at 6. And no lie, I probably slept like 12, 13 hours just straight. Like I think I slept from like 6 a.m. and like all the way to like 8. And I don't even like I didn't even realize like I like woke up and I looked outside and it was dark and I still thought like it was the morning. And then I looked at my phone and it was like 8 and I'm like, oh shoot, it's only 8 a.m. And then I realized it's 8 p.m. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like that jet lag hit
Yeah.
me so hard the next day.
Yeah, like coming back, jet lag's always worse coming this way, I think. But yeah, dude, and
Yeah.
those like, I mean, we had those those crazy 2 days trying to get home, and then plus I apparently was coming down with COVID. I felt like a train wreck, and I still did. I mean, it was only 5 days ago when we get home, so like I'm still recovering.
Yeah. Did your bag like go arrive with you or what? Or did your bag get lost like mine?
So my bag made it to Phoenix on a later flight, but I was in Phoenix long enough to where they got it on the same plane with me.
Wow.
That was good. Yeah, like the flight over was me and you and Asher and Trample and Corrupt and Lexnos was on that flight too. And then
Yeah.
like
It was
almost no, Asher came back with us. Right? Yeah.
Asher did come back with us, yeah.
Oh yeah. So here's like this. I wouldn't call this gossip, but it is hilarious, and I feel fine clowning on Asher. This kid, he'd never flown before, right? And
oh my God.
so he's like he texts our little group, and he's like he flew from wherever he was into like JFK, and then this dude like he's on a regular layover. He left. He got off the plane, followed everyone on the plane, went to baggage claim, and was like looking for his bag, thinking he had to go get his bag, and and then it was like scared that it didn't show up and thought it was gonna get lost. And he's texting us, and he so he did come back through TSA and to catch his layover, but I guess he came back into the wrong terminal, so he had to leave and then go through TSA a third time at like a whole different part of the airport. So
yeah, that's crazy, dude. I felt so bad.
Yeah.
I felt so because at least when I was in Texas, like I had you and like everybody else like guiding me. Like he was over there by himself. Like he did not know. Like he was first time flyer. Plus he had nobody with him. I was like, oof.
Yeah. It was so, dude. Like I was laughing so hard when it just trying to because I think we were in the air when he was dealing with that, and so we landed. And we're like, what the hell is he doing? I sent him I knew he'd never flown before, and I knew he was a little worried about it. So I sent him step-by-step instructions on like how to go to the airport, how to get on a plane, how to do all this. This is like a full checklist. But so apparently it's my fault that I mentioned like don't leave the airport in the middle of your trip. I guess that needed to be on the list.
Yeah. Oh, did he leave?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like no, he left to go. Like he went outside. He left security.
Oh,
he had to go to baggage claim.
right.
Yeah. When he should have just went to his next gate. I didn't think to mention that. So maybe it's my fault. This was Asher.
Yeah. Rip Asher. And then like I felt bad like coming back too because like he didn't take the shuttle. He took an Uber. Like he's like, so I'm like, dude, did you take the shuttle? And he's like, no, I took like because he got like I think he got like an Uber to the hotel, so he didn't like go with the employee, like Supercell employee, so he just like came on an Uber. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
I think he meant from the after party too, because I was talking to I forget if it was Bash or Carbon, but like those guys got Ubers around because they're casters and they're awesome. So like Supercell would pay for cars, and they didn't have to ride the bus or the shuttle with the rest of us. But then I know one of them was telling me that like someone took their Uber from the club, like just went, like as an Uber pulled up and was like, "Hey, I'm taking someone to the hotel," and then whoever was out there waiting for the bus just probably stole their Uber, and then they had to wait on another one.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, dude. That's crazy. Dude, that's actually insane.
Yeah. Yeah, this was the first year I've like really talked to Carbon, and he was a nice guy. I met him and his wife. Hung out with Bash and met Mrs. Bash. She was nice. It was a good trip,
Yeah,
man.
that was cool. That was cool seeing like they have like their like their partners flat with them, and they were just like they were having a good time too. That was so cool to see, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was awesome. They were there and they were just having a good time with their partners, and I'm like that's pretty epic, man.
Man, I'm trying to think like Storm asked for gossip, but like nothing crazy happened this year, so at least that I'm aware of. It was all pretty straightforward. I think everyone behaved. Yeah, I did meet Trample. He guilted me into a hug, and I'm never gonna forgive him for that one. But yeah, I've met and hugged Trample.
Yeah, Trample's a good guy. Trample's nice.
Oh yeah.
I expected him to be nice. He was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was like it's always weird, like when you first meet someone because you don't know like. Yeah, like okay, is this the way they are in real life? Is this a lot of times how people are online might be a little different than how they are in real life? I think I'm a little more, reserved. I think, but I don't know.
Yeah,
you might be a better judge of that. But yeah, I don't know. Trample is Trample, so it's really easy to fall right into like the normal routine, meeting him, hanging out.
Yeah, he's pretty like natural talker. He was like the same no matter what. He was chill. I think the only like gossip that was like I mean I don't really think there was like I think the only drama dude was just like MTFY like just complaining about their 1-star. I think that's the only thing I can think of, dude. Like that's it. Like I don't think there was any other drama like just that. I don't know.
Yeah, like were you there when they messed up the Clash Royale like final match?
Oh yeah, it was there. Yeah, like Muhammad Light took the tower.
Yeah,
he like got the tower, and then they started they pointed the camera away, and they started doing the confetti, and they were still playing the match.
all the fireworks are going off, and they're both like looking around. But
yeah, that was crazy. That was actually crazy, and like everybody was just like clapping, and then they realized.
I know, dude. Like Trample, like we're on the bus to the nightclub, later that night. And then, like, I wasn't paying attention to half of it, but I know, like, Trample had a weird, awkward interaction with Muhammad Light, because he's like Trample's like, oh, like, no, someone said you're a champion, or like, were you? I don't recognize you. Were you on that team? And he's like, yeah, I'm the world champion. And there was like miscommunication because Trample doesn't know, like any of the CR guys, and so like they're all like had a confusing thing. I'm sure he'll talk about it on his podcast too. But they got it all cleared up. He's a nice guy. I dig Trample a lot in person.
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I went and it was nice. Even just meeting Trample, meeting even the players too. Like the players are pretty chill. I got a picture with Mo Light and Riley, the 2 finalists.
Yeah.
I wish I could have gotten like more pictures with like the Clash teams. I only took pictures with Navi, but they were like all separate. I took a full picture with Synchronic and Tribe, but not with all the other three, unfortunately. But maybe next year, you know.
You know, was it you who walked up to the random guy playing Brawl Stars in the airport?
Yeah.
So because like yeah we're
Dude, that's
we're
crazy.
looking around like I mean there's like 6 or 7 Clash creators on the same flight, you know, so it's we could see the whole list, and so we know that there's like 5-6 other people from other games like on this flight at our gate, just trying to like figure out who's who, and then saw this guy just like sitting in his seat playing Brawl Stars, and then Termy goes up and like taps him on the shoulder and was like, "Hey, what's up? Who are you?" And the guy's just like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, man, are you going to Finland to like? Are you like a Supercell creator too?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, "Oh, are you just like a fan of the game?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Oh,
like,
have a good day."
He's just a guy playing Brawl Stars.
Yeah, that was epic.
But I don't know, that was funny. Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a good trip.
It was like one of those things where like I expected it to be good, like when you were telling me, but like when you like it's like the day as the days went on, like it just got better and better, man. Like it was so organized, like the people were so nice, like like stepping into like the arena, like the whole entire set, like it literally just kept getting like better and better and better. Like I don't know how, but it was just like I was more mind blown away. Like even going to like the HQ and like just like seeing like like the whole like CEO giving us a speech, like just seeing like all the creators there, that was just I don't know, man. Like it was so sick. Like they have like such a nice area for their headquarters too, like on the water and stuff. So that was yeah.
So like Cart was there, and so he knows the Discord side of the house a lot more than I do. So like Draco and Vibe and I'm forgetting a lot of other people's names because I only kind of saw them once. But yeah, there was a lot more of the Discord staff were there as well.
Oh really? I didn't see them. Or
Yeah,
I mean, at least I mean I never met them, so I don't know what they look like. But
yeah, no, there was like a lot of those guys came like on their own dime.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Gotcha.
dude, Finland exists, dude. It takes forever to get there. Like I didn't waste my time flying around in circles. Dude, Magic Junior hanging out with all the French people.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, because the other people who work on his bot with him are French, so I got to meet them a few times. Destinia and Obno, I don't know if you met them. The other people on the Clash King.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the hoodies. Yeah. So we went out to a French bar and like then I got a little drunk and then was making fun of French people half the night. But but I bought around, so it's all good because I bought around and like so somebody bought me a shot of Jägermeister and that was a throwback, dude. I haven't had Jaeger in like 10 years.
Damn.
And then like stumbled back to the hotel in the rain in the middle of the night. That was fun.
Oh, it was raining.
Dude, it rained a lot, dude. It was always like drizzling. Then you were streaming in your hotel room. I don't know if you heard. Like I thought you were streaming, but I think you had already got off and like you were in the shower or something. But came by and started beating on your door, yelling as SWAT.
Yeah, dude. So like when I remember that, I was actually taking a shower, and then like someone was like knocking on the door, and I thought it was like maybe housekeeping or something. So then like I just like stare at the door, and I'm like, and I like debated like going to it, and I'm like, nah, I just like left it alone.
no,
just got back in the shower.
Yeah, like we were downstairs or something, and I think I saw the notification that you were like live on Twitch, and that's when like I was running up with Magic to grab something, and yeah, we walked by like because your room was right next to mine, and then that's when I was like, this is the easiest swatting ever. I know exactly where he is.
I'm not even there. Yeah. Yeah, dude, the hotel room was nice, man. Like, I mean, dude, it was being like on the higher floor too. Like, you could like see everything, and we were like all together too. Like, we didn't really like go to each other's like rooms. I mean, like you came to mine, but that was it. I mean, that was sick.
Yeah, Trample came over to mine and we recorded for like an hour while I was there. And then, yeah, I mean, like, there's just not a whole lot of reason to like hang out in the hotel rooms, you know, like when there's such a nice lounge that everyone's going to just naturally congregate into anyway.
Yeah.
All right, man, I think I'm going to let you go and let everyone else, disconnect. But yeah,
Sounds good.
I'm going to edit this tonight and tomorrow. I will send you links to everything once it's published. It'll be Apple, Spotify, YouTube, literally anywhere you can find a podcast, it'll be there.
Sounds good. I'll also let my like community know too, because they'll probably want to tune in. Like even if they couldn't tune in live, like they were asking me if they could watch it somewhere, so I'll let them know. Or like you'll send it to me, I'll tell them where it is. So
Yeah. All right, sounds good. Thanks again, man. Had a blast. Good night. I miss you.
thank you for
buddy.
inviting me on, dude.
I miss you so
much.
Yeah.
I miss you more.
All right.
See you next time, man.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Peace.